Continuing from the previous episode 1215, Death to Me, Xuanjing's pupils suddenly opened, and then his eyes stared at the broken corpse stone Brahma scorpion hidden in the rock formation. Along with it, Xuanjing's unusually huge soul force locked onto the broken corpse stone Brahma scorpion. At that time, 27,000 core inscriptions were like a ray of annihilation, and shot directly into the rock formation. In the law, boom boom boom. In the rock formation, the rocks were rotating at a high speed, thus giving birth to a strange force to suppress everyone, and the figure of the broken body stone Brahma was perfectly concealed by the rock formation. However, being locked by Xuanjing's soul power, and letting the rock formation be tyrannical, it was no match for Xuanjing's 27,000 core inscriptions. Crash! The invisible core inscription just came into contact with the rock formation, and the high-speed rotating rock formation instantly became restless, and the next moment, its speed slowed down under the eyes of everyone. This guy is such a tyrannical spiritual force. At this moment, Lu Qing, who had just cast the defensive scroll, couldn't help but look at Xuanjing with admiration. There is no doubt that the cultivation method of spiritual power is rarer than that of soul power, and the attack that Xuanjing had just brewed was sent out with spiritual power, which made Lu Qing even more curious about Xuanjing's identity. Cuckoo! Shifan Scorpion realized that Xuanjing's attack was tyrannical, although it was not aimed at him, but once the rock formation was broken, he would lose the best protection, and he wanted to easily obliterate them. I am afraid it is extremely difficult. Choke! The strange voice just fell, and the Brahma scorpion didn't hesitate. The poisonous scorpion at its tail flashed out, and shot directly at Xuanjing, who was in a stalemate with the rock formation in midair. What was different from the previous one was that this time the poisonous scorpion hook contained an extremely violent force. If it was hit by the poisonous scorpion hook, even Xuanjing would not be able to eat it. Thundersnake, do it. Jade Yifeng and Lei Snake had been observing the battle situation all the time. What they have to deal with is the corpse stone Brahma scorpion, and what Xuanjing does is to solve the interference of this rock formation. At this time, the corpse stone Brahma scorpion shot, they naturally will not sit still. Su, humanity, you actually broke my formation and didn't let this scorpion fall. The corpse stone Brahma was also immediately furious. If the rock formation was broken, I'm afraid I really wouldn't be the opponent of these people in front of me. After all, it's just that 3-star fighting immortals is quite tricky, not to mention other 2-star fighting immortals. Want to kill me? Then see if you have the ability. Xuanjing also laughed when he heard this. The corpse stone Brahma scorpion had just finished speaking, and the poisonous scorpion hook flashed with a strange beam of light. The speed was extremely fast, and it penetrated out of the rock formation in an instant, and then blasted away at Xuanjing. Brother Xuanjing, you can decipher the formation with peace of mind. Leave this to us. Just as Xuanjing was about to start, Yu Yifeng's voice slowly appeared, and then 2 figures came directly in front of Xuanjing, flickering. It has cyan wind attribute and silver thunder attribute. It's almost there, break it for me. And Xuanjing looked at this sudden attack without any panic. After all, Yu Yifeng and Lei Snake had already attacked, and he could only use peace of mind to break the rock formation. Crash! The poisonous scorpion hit Jade Yifeng without a trace, but what means did Jade Legacy and Thundersnake use to temporarily stop him? Bang bang bang! After a while, Xuanjing's pupils became deep, and then the dazzling core inscription forcefully destroyed the rock formation. After completely destroying the rock formation, the countless rocks also stopped rotating and stood quietly on the ground, so that on top of one of the most massive khaki rocks, the corpse stone Brahma scorpion was opening its beast pupils. I can't wait to swallow Xuanjing. Hee, let's see where you're going now. Seeing this, Yu Yifeng suddenly shook with the power of the Azure Battle Immortal, and immediately hooked the poisonous scorpion back temporarily, and its figure, like a ghost, disappeared in place in an instant. Facing the broken corpse stone Brahma scorpion at the highest point outside the body. The wind attribute is naturally extremely terrifying above the speed. Goo goo goo. Seemingly aware of the danger, the corpse scorpion made a strange sound, and then there was a burst of colorful mist around the body. Above the colorful mist, toxins that could easily wipe out everyone slowly appeared. Wind soaring technique. A cold snort appeared directly beside the broken corpse stone Brahma scorpion. All 5 hurricanes of dozens of meters in size suddenly surrounded Yu Yifeng, and then Yu Yifeng waved his palm, and it burst into it. Go! Gulu! The power of the immortal battle of the wind attribute easily dispelled the colorful mist that the corpse stone Brahma scorpion used to protect itself, so that the momentum did not weaken in any way, and it still blasted away at it, such a dazzling hurricane. The lethality carried in it may be able to easily obliterate the broken corpse stone Brahma scorpion. No! Until this moment, the corpse scorpion Brahma scorpion let out an extremely unwilling roar, and then the hurricane continued to expand in his beast's eyes, and even the next moment, suddenly pierced his body. Boom! Yu Yifeng's tyrannical attack directly pierced through his body. Jishi's body became deep and deep, and the next moment, the body was faintly swelled signs. No, this guy is going to blow himself up, go back. And Razor didn't do anything, just to protect it. At this time, watching Yu Yifeng obliterate the corpse stone Brahma, a touch of unease emerged, and the corpse stone Brahma's body among them. They have accumulated toxins over the years. If they exploded like this, I am afraid they fire the poisonous scorpion. Just as everyone panicked, Xiaoyan's playful voice slowly sounded, and then a fiery red flame suddenly shot towards the broken corpse stone Brahma scorpion. With the appearance of this fiery red flame, the body of the broken body stone Brahma scorpion was burned in an instant, and the signs of self-destruction were also completely suppressed by the flames, baked by such a hot flame, and the vitality was also passing quickly. And in this fiery red flame, the power of 2 holy flames was forcibly entrained, but Xiaoyan set up a layer of blindness to blind everyone's sight. The 9th floor, it's over. After a while, Xiaoyan said slowly as he watched the corpse scorpion vanish completely. However, the eyes of the others were dull. They knew how hard the body of the broken corpse was. Although they had been seriously injured by Yu Qifeng, they were so easily burned and turned into nothingness by Xiaoyan, which was enough to show that this kid, the fire on the body, is not simple. And with the complete disappearance of the corpse stone Brahma scorpion, a passageway slowly appeared on the huge rock. Then, it is the passage to defeat the 9th layer guardian and leave this space. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 1216. Hoo-hoo, the guardian of the 10th floor is a soul beast of the late 2-star Do Xian, and the 9th floor is a perfect soul beast of the 2-star Do Xian. I'm afraid that on the 8th floor, we will be greeted by soul beasts that are comparable to the 3-star fighting immortals of human beings. After the people defeated the corpse stone Brahma scorpion, they were not busy leaving the first time. After all, the 8th floor greeted them at the meeting. It is a more terrifying existence, and naturally, it is necessary to restore the consumed vindictive energy first. But fortunately, these people's cultivation skills are not low. After a while, their fighting chi will return to the same level as before. And when Yu Yifeng talked about the 3-star fighting immortal level soul beast, the eyes of everyone present became gloomy. They know that the 2-star Do Xian and the 3-star Do Xian are a watershed. No matter how tyrannical the 2-star Do Xian is and the terrifying means of attack, when dealing with the 3-star Do Xian, the power will be greatly reduced. There's one thing I have to remind you in advance. After seeing everyone's vindictive reply, the little girl Luyan said to Yu Yifeng with a serious look. What? Yu Yifeng was also surprised when he heard the words. This 8th floor gives me a very strong sense of unease. I suggest you all be prepared. If you lose, retreat directly. The little girl said solemnly. Although Luyan wanted to devour a certain creature in the Ice and Fire Island in order to restore his strength, but if he was defeated, he would naturally have to retreat. Very strong unease? When Xiaoyan heard the words, he spoke slowly, apparently even he didn't notice it. The person you want to save is probably on the 8th floor, but the guardian on the 8th floor gave me a wave of death. To put it bluntly, I don't think you have any chance of winning just by relying on you guys. If his strength reaches the 3-star fighting immortal, then he has a half chance of winning. Luyan had no need to hide, and said slowly towards Xiaoyan. Do you know what kind of soul beast the guardian on the 8th floor is? Razor on the side couldn't help asking. Do not know, because the guardians on each floor of Icefire Island appear randomly. For example, the last time you came, the soul beast you encountered on the 10th floor and the soul beast you encountered on the 10th floor this time. Although the strength is the same, but it is impossible it's the same kind of soul beast. Luyan said solemnly, let's take one step at a time. Yu Yifeng also nodded secretly after hearing this. The reason why they came to save the person was because they received a commission, and this commission was under the Almighty of the Ghost World. Although their Jade family was quite critical of the commission, and there were many holes in the commission, but their Jade the family is tyrannical, and it is not as good as the existence of the Ghost World who can only cover the sky, so he has to do it. Otherwise, once he angers that Ghost World power, I am afraid that their Yu family will be wiped out. Let's go out first. After a while, Lu Qing spoke first. Let's go and see what treasures are on this floor, and then I'm afraid we need to take a long-term plan for the 8th floor. Shuiwei said with a smile. When everyone heard the words, they nodded slightly, and then walked towards the exit. After all, they have reached the 8th floor, and victory is ahead. If they go back like this, I'm afraid they will not be reconciled. And their team, in terms of strength, has Yu Yifeng, a powerhouse in the middle of the 3-star battle of immortals, and in terms of soul power, there is Xiaoyan, an alchemist who almost reached the soul of fairyland. If you want to break through the 8th floor, you should not difficult. Peeved. Everyone left the guardian space on the 9th floor, and then came to a dark passage with ease. Just after pouring into this passage, all the lights were on the surrounding walls, and the lights were lit directly, illuminating the path of everyone. The temperature on the 9th floor is a bit cold. Yu Xiaoyi was also much better than at the beginning. When faced with danger, she was no longer at a loss, but felt a little quieter. However, Yu Xiaoyi was also extremely puzzled. When she was at home, she was an eldest young lady anyway. In private, many powerhouses fought against her, but they all lost to her. But now that she came out to follow her second uncle Yu's legacy, she realized that the opponents in the family were only trying to gain her own joy and thus lost to her. Otherwise, once this kind of life and death struggle, Yu Xiaoyi would be defeated in an instant. But fortunately, this experience has brought a lot to her. It's strange. Why is there a faint trace of unease in my soul realm? While everyone was walking in the passage on the 9th floor, towards the place where the spoils and the wicked were imprisoned, Xiaoyan said in surprise. Xiaoyan didn't pay attention when Lu Yin said it at first, but as he went down, the feeling seemed to become more uneasy. You must know that Xiaoyan's current soul power is only a little bit worse than that of the fairyland. The only thing that can make Xiaoyan's soul power fear is the real fairyland soul. And how difficult is it to cultivate a fairyland soul? Not only talent is needed, but also the condensed spiritual palace. It can be said without hesitation that the soul power will make a qualitative leap after breaking through the fairyland. The fundamental reason is that the soul power is not a mass of scattered sand in the soul realm, but is condensed to form an extremely powerful spiritual palace. As soon as the spirit palace comes out, who will compete with you? It's here. Just as Xiaoyan was thinking about what kind of creatures on the 8th floor could actually make him fear, Yu Yifeng said slowly. After Jade Legacy finished speaking, in front of everyone, a golden treasure chest that was exactly the same as the 10th floor stood out. Little Yi, go ahead. Seeing that everyone didn't mean to move at all, Yu Yifeng said directly. Ah, me? Although Yu Xiaoyi had grown through several battles, she was still a little scared at this time. Don't worry about little Yi's sister, it's very simple. Lu Qing also encouraged Yu Xiaoyi from the side. Yu Xiaoyi nodded slightly when she heard the words, then gathered up her courage and walked up slowly like a green lotus step. I hope there is something good. The rest of the Hawkeye team couldn't help but say when they saw Yu Xiaoyi's actions. Although they do this for the family, everyone is selfish. They walk on the tip of the knife all the year round. If some treasures appear at a certain time, it is enough to make them worry about food and clothing. At that time, they will fade away this special identity, so as to find a place to settle down. Squeak. With a sound, Yu Xiaoyi slapped the treasure chest with her slender hand. At that time, the golden treasure chest would slowly open under everyone's attention. Wang buzzing, and just after Yu Xiaoyi opened the treasure chest, the entire passage was filled with an unusually bright golden color. What's this? Xiaoyan had never encountered such a situation for a while, but the ancient ruler of eternal fire behind him emitted a trace of fiery heat. This is Xuanjing? ? When Yu Yifeng saw the dazzling golden light, he walked up quickly, and only lost his voice when he saw the quiet thing in the treasure chest. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 1217. Xuanjing? Xiao Yan couldn't help asking after hearing the extremely hot fluctuations in Yu Yifeng's voice. You must know that something that can make a mid-3-star fighting immortal strongman so excited is naturally not an ordinary thing. The so-called Xuanjing is a material for casting weapons. Above the world, the creators of weapons are called smiths. Their lifelong occupation and what they have learned are for the purpose of forging weapons. Their lifelong dream is to forge a peerless weapon. But it's unavoidable that clever women can't cook without rice, and this mysterious crystal is one of the best materials for casting magic weapons. With Xuanjing, and with the help of other rare materials, it is possible to cast a rather tyrannical weapon, which is at least in the category of fairy weapons. Lu Qing explained slightly. So that's the case. Xiao Yan was relieved when he heard the words. It was no wonder that the ancient ruler of the eternal fire emitted a trace of fiery heat. Immortals are also divided into grades. First-order immortals are enough to enhance the strength of 1-star fighting immortals. 1-star fighting immortals of the same level are the most convenient to use, but they are quite unattainable for 2-star fighting immortals. Rank impressively reached the weapons used by the 9-star fighting immortals. As for the 9th level and above, it is the so-called divine weapon in human mouths. The so-called divine weapon is full of huge magical powers that are unpredictable by ghosts and gods. Humans cannot guess its power, but according to legends, the powerhouse with divine tools is almost invincible. In the great world, the word artifact is just a legend, and almost no creatures have witnessed it. According to Xiao Yan's understanding, there are many materials for casting weapons, but as far as he knows, the best material is probably the Millennium Cold Iron. As for the mysterious crystal, its value is undoubtedly more precious than the Millennium Cold Iron. Xiao Yan saw that in the golden treasure chest, a piece of golden metal about the size of a palm stood quietly in it. Even with his powerful soul power, Xiao Yan could vaguely discover that there was a trace of life hidden in the golden light on this golden metal. This thing is quite necessary for our Yu family, and I, Yu, will not refuse. Yu Yifeng smiled at Xiao Yan, and then carefully put it into the ring. Yes. Xiao Yan nodded lightly. Obviously he had already taken the 10th floor wood attribute fighting skill scroll. It's really good luck. With this mysterious crystal, I am afraid that I can cast an immortal weapon. At that time, a strong immortal warrior and an immortal weapon of the same level will have a lot of strength, and with the same strength, they will also be able to gain the upper hand. The Shuiwei and the others also laughed. Okay, let's go and see the villains on this floor first. The villain who is imprisoned on the 9th floor, I hope he knows some information about the 8th floor, otherwise the 8th floor will make me feel uneasy. Yu Yifeng said slowly after collecting the Xuanjing. Okay. Everyone nodded, then bypassed the treasure chest and headed towards the depths. Susu, is there any creature here? It's really been a long time since I saw a living creature come in. Just as Xiao Yan and his group moved, there was a low roar like a wild beast in the deepest part of the 9th floor. Everyone cautiously came to the depths of the passage, but this time, without any resistance from the stone gate, what appeared in front of everyone was an incomparably huge circular passage. At the outermost edge of the circular passage, there was actually a pair of swords with a silver gleam that was slowly inserted on the ground, leaving everyone confused about what was going on inside. What's the situation? When everyone saw this, they couldn't help frowning. Obviously, on the side of this sword, just by perceiving it, they knew the fierce cold aura. This sword is absolutely extraordinary. The place where the wicked are imprisoned on the 9th floor is probably a sword formation. At this time, Lu Yin spoke slightly, and there was a hint of relief in her voice. Sword formation. Xiao Yan nodded immediately after hearing the words, because he also noticed that the silver matching sword above carried a trace of tyrannical confinement power. Go in and have a look, the passage on the 8th floor is also inside. After a while, Yu Yifeng nodded and said, although they defeated the guardian of the 9th floor, it does not mean that the villain of the 9th floor will be released. It's one thing to defeat the guardian, another thing to imprison the wicked. Hey, it's actually some humans. I haven't seen humans enter here for a long time. Xiao Yan and Yu Yifeng stood at the front of the team, walked directly past the outermost silver sword, and came to the edge of the sword formation. This guy. He has such weird fluctuations. When Lu Qing first saw the villain on the 9th floor, a sense of disgust from the depths of his soul emerged. The villain on the 9th floor is a rather thin middle-aged man. He should be about the same age as Jade Legacy. As for his strength, he should be similar to the late stage of Razor 2-star Do Xian, but at this time, it was completely pierced by a rather strange silver sword. What made everyone strange was that the silver sword that pierced through the mysterious man didn't mean to kill him, but released a rather soft milky white light that constantly enveloped his body. Covered by such a milky white light, the mysterious man was as weak as soft skin, and it was quite difficult to even speak. This guy is from the darkness. The next moment, Lu Qing said to the mysterious man in front of him after his condition improved a little. Darkness? Xiao Yan was shocked when he heard this. Darkness and light have been enemies since ancient times, so it's no wonder why Lu Qing appeared like that just now. Do you know the information about the guardian of the 8th floor? Shuihui asked directly. So what if you know, what if you don't know? The mysterious man said Wei Wei, who seemed to be accustomed to the shackles of darkness. If you know the information about the guardian of the 8th floor, then we can save you from this *** sword formation in exchange. Xiao Yan was also a little afraid of the 8th floor, so he confronted the mysterious man. Said I don't know. Just as she doesn't know either. The mysterious man smiled helplessly. You! Lu Yin was dumbfounded when this guy said so. This mysterious man is right, because the guardians in the Ice and Fire Island appear randomly. I am afraid no one can know the specific information, and the question is nothing. Then you will stay in this dark underground forever. The entrance is here. Let's go. Yu Yifeng and the others ignored the mysterious man and walked directly towards the entrance behind the sword formation. Everyone ignored the mysterious man and rushed directly into the passage on the 8th floor. Little did they know that a tragic near massacre was slowly attacking them. Each of these seals is aimed at imprisoning the wicked, so naturally it will not suppress foreign challengers. This guy on the 8th floor, but even a 4-star fighting immortal powerhouse can only walk around, although one of your team has a good soul, but if you want to deal with her, I'm afraid it's just death in vain. The mysterious man couldn't help laughing as he watched the crowd pour into the 8th floor passage. He was imprisoned here as a villain, because he used his dark ability to forcefully obliterate an entire city, nearly hundreds of thousands of people, so he became a villain and was imprisoned. As for the reason for slaughtering hundreds of thousands of people, it was just to prove whether his dark system was strong. The name of this villain is worthy of the name. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 1218. That guy just now, there is a problem. Just pouring into the guardian space on the 8th floor, the land monkey said, obviously sensing something wrong. Let's take one step at a time. If it's true as Lu Yin said, our commission will only end on the 8th floor. Everyone cheer up, as long as we defeat the guardians of this floor and rescue the wicked imprisoned in the 8th floor, then we will leave Icefire Island and set off for Dongzhou. Everyone eats and drinks spicy food. Yu Yifeng looked at the uneasy feeling in everyone's heart, and immediately laughed, and hurriedly comforted the hearts. After all, if the hearts are scattered, I am afraid that they have not met the guardian of this lair, and they will be self-defeating. Ha ha ha, what the captain said is right. After being left behind by Jade, several people immediately became elated. After all, victory was ahead. The space on this floor is not the same as before. As soon as Xiao Yan entered the space on the 8th floor, he calmed down, and the huge soul force went out directly, trying to find a trace of guardian. However, what makes Xiao Yan strange is that even with his current strength of soul power, in this space on the 8th floor, he can't use it at all. That feeling seemed to be his own soul power being imprisoned, making Xiao Yan helpless if he had the strength to do so. Interesting. I originally wanted to rescue my subordinate, and then ask him to find the only soul guardian in Icefire Island to help Xiao Yan break through the soul power of the fairyland, but I didn't expect this guy to escape by himself. But realizing Xiao Yan's depression, the soul eater in Xiao Yan's body laughed. The guardian of this 8th floor may only be a 3-star Do Xian in strength, not too strong, but his soul power is truly a fairyland. Among the 3-star Do Xian's same level, there are almost no humans who can match it. Furthermore, the space on the 8th floor is rather strange, because it is an unbounded one. The so-called unbounded is because in this space, there is no forest mountain range or rock like in the past, but a space without any impurities. The space stretches as far as the eye can see, accompanied by silence and endless darkness, while Xiao Yan and the others are constantly advancing, yet they seem to be standing still. This seems to be a dead end. After a while, Yu Xiaoyi couldn't help but be the first to speak because he couldn't stand the torture of being too quiet. It's strange to say that Yu Xiaoyi just opened his mouth, and the voice actually slowly echoed in the space for a long time. Little brother Xiaoyan, please use your soul power to investigate. Yu Yifeng also found out that, with his strength in the middle stage of the 3-star fighting immortals, he actually found that there was something wrong here, so he said, "It is impossible for them to keep going like this, otherwise they will be trapped here." Okay. Hearing this, Xiaoyan nodded slightly and then mobilized his huge soul power to spread out in all directions, making an appearance of probing. Xiaoyan knew that this space was probably the proud work of the guardians of the 8th floor, and he was not in a hurry, because Xiaoyan knew that he could not tell them about the failure of his soul power, otherwise, once panic was caused, I am afraid that everyone would not end well. Where to go? No result. This place seems to be an unbounded place, and the guardian of the 8th floor, although I can't lock his specific location, but I can vaguely perceive its location, he is also in this unbounded piece. After a while, Xiaoyan said. Although Xiaoyan deliberately concealed the fact that their own soul powers seemed to be limited, but through the perception of danger, the guardian of the 8th floor was impressively somewhere in this unbounded place, which was genuine. What is this guy doing? Other people's soul power is quite weak, so naturally they can't detect Xiaoyan's pretense, but Lu Qing's soul power is not low, but he can easily detect Xiaoyan's abnormality. But not dismantled. It seems that the 8th floor is far beyond our imagination. At this time, Yu Yifeng also fell into a state of doom. Obviously, he finally gave up the precious things such as the dragon blood crystal, and found a tyrannical soul force. The strong man can't come back in vain. Captain, although I can't feel the breath of this guy, I seem to have an intuition. This guardian is the guy who was not masked when we entered the 9th floor last time, but who defeated us easily. At this time, Razor walked to Yu Yifeng's ear and spoke slightly, not knowing why. For some intuition, it seemed that Razor's judgment was correct. Impossible. Why didn't I feel it? My strength and wind attribute in the middle stage of the 3-star fighting immortals are quite sensitive to the fluctuation of energy. Even I didn't feel it. You must be wrong, Yu Yifeng insisted. And, even if it is that guy, we have Xiaoyan's soul power in our team to defend against him. If we really meet him, we can still fight against him. At the end of the sentence, Yu Yifeng spoke again. Said, but, Razor seemed to want to say something, but it seemed like he was hesitant to say anything. Captain, this space is so weird. I feel that the grudge in my body is actually out of my control, and it is slowly passing away. While Razor and Yu Yifeng were talking, the voice of the land monkey was slightly louder. Stand up. The vindictiveness is gone? Hearing that the earth monkey said this, the others couldn't help frowning, and then carefully examined their bodies. How can it be? What the asterisk is this place? My grudge is also slowly fading, mine too. Captain, what the asterisk is going on? When the land monkey said this, the other people's emotions were also in a high mood was extremely restless. Have you begun? Xiaoyan and Lu Qing were still calm, and there was a slow flow of fighting spirit in their bodies, but they were not as panicked as the others. Aren't you afraid? At this time, looking at Xiaoyan who was calm, Lu Qing walked over slightly and said with a smile. There's nothing to be afraid of. Everyone's life is in their own hands. Although I know that the guardian in the 8th floor will be a very difficult guy, but it is far from the level that makes me afraid. Xiaoyan's eyes quickly swept across this boundless, and then he slowly said to Lu Qing. You are very interesting, and I always feel that we will meet in the future. Lu Qing narrowed her eyebrows and smiled at Xiaoyan. He started, be careful. Xiaoyan said, and then stopped talking. How can it be? How can it be? How could it be possible? The next moment, looking at the few people in the team who were in panic, there was a hint of fear on Lu Yin's little face, and the corners of his mouth kept muttering something. Impossible. Isn't it perched on the first 6 floors all the time? How could it come to the 8th floor? It's on. We all have to die. At this moment, all the thoughts in Lu Yin's heart were replaced by fear, and she kept roaring in her mouth. Full Book M. Continuing from the previous episode 1219. What should I do now? The team consisted of 8 people, and the 4 of them had already fallen into chaos. The remaining Jade Legacy, Thundersnake, Xiaoyan and Lu Qing looked at each other slowly, and Thundersnake spoke first. Looking at the four people who were in chaos, it was quite painful, and a trace of fear seemed to quietly permeate the hearts of several people. Knock them out. Otherwise, if they are left in such confusion, I'm afraid they will be confused by the guardian of the 8th floor. Xuanjing said directly and decisively. Ah! When Xuanjing said these words, Razor couldn't help being a little stunned. The strength of their Hawkeye team was already weak. Without the protection of the water element, water moon and earth element land monkey, their odds of winning would probably be even lower. After all, no matter what, although Shuiwei and land monkey are weak, their attributes and fighting skills are a good means of defense. Razor, do it. Knock them out, otherwise they will go on like this sooner or later if they don't say anything. It will only add unnecessary trouble to us. Yu Yifeng was also a decisive person. His eyes kept sweeping between Xuanjing and the four people who were in chaos. There is a decision. Razor shot directly, carefully knocking the four unconscious, and then the breath of the four slowly calmed down under the coma. You kid, you really have a second chance. Seeing Xuanjing giving such a good method, even Jade Legacy could not help but give Xuanjing a thumbs up. At this time, even Jade Legacy was not as calm as Xuanjing. The reason why they fell into chaos is that the guardian of the 8th floor has mobilized the hidden fear in their bodies, and added a little bit of vindictiveness, so that's what happened. If you don't stop them and let them go on like this, they will become unconscious at light level, and serious injuries will not heal. The best way is to knock them unconscious. Xuanjing said calmly, Little brother Xuanjing, Miss Lu Qing, it's just the four of us now. As for the purpose of our Eagle Eye team, it's just to save a villain. After all, we also have a mission to do. Yu Yifeng also knows that the two who can remain calm under such circumstances are naturally not simple people. Originally thought that Xuanjing was just a stubborn child who would do whatever he wanted with his own soul power, but it turned out that was not the case. In addition, the fact that the top officials of the Holy See asked their Hawkeye team to help bring a person to the ghost world for training and **** Lu Qing to participate in the ratio of Dongzhou is not easy. With all these things, Yu Yifeng can only open his heart and tell his purpose. After all, they are on the same boat now. I'm not interested in those. Xuanjing said helplessly. What he wanted to do was to increase his strength through experience, whether he wanted to be the Lord of Soul Eater, or to contribute to the future of his own Shao clan. Me too, Lu Qing said slightly. Next, let's deal with this guy first. Be careful, it's very strong. Not only is the combat power stronger than Captain Yu, but even the soul power is above me. Xuanjing's voice was unusually solemn. Obviously, this guardian of the 8th floor is the first time Xuanjing has met since he was promoted to Do Xian. To the strength and soul power to crush their opponents. Have you found it? Razor couldn't help but said when Xuanjing was so impressed. Although the guardian's strength and soul strength are stronger than them, but they are four of them. As hunters, they naturally want to conquer this guy. I found it, but there is no trace of it locked. I said that its soul power is above me, so I can only roughly guess its location. Be careful, it's coming. But Xuanjing's voice increased from gentle to rapid. Lu Qing, be careful, it's less than 10 meters behind you. The next moment, Xuanjing's eyes kept glancing away at the darkness in the boundless, but he suddenly shouted. The blessing of light. Lu Qing is indeed a figure with a high status in the Holy See. Although his soul power is not as strong as Xuanjing's, and he cannot find the trace of this mysterious guardian, she has always been on guard. When the sound was heard, a milky white halo suddenly spread out from Lu Qing's body. Crash! The milky white halo formed a natural barrier outside Lu Qing's delicate body, completely wrapping her delicate body. Bang bang bang! Just after Lu Qing activated the rather tyrannical defensive energy of the light system, a silent giant hand suddenly hit Lu Qing's defensive halo. Ah! 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 A painful scream resounded continuously in this space, and the milky white light outside Lu Qing's body was actually abruptly dented by as much as 3 meters in his chest. When it is close to a trace, it will instantly hit Lu Qing's delicate chest. This is. And with Lu Qing's screams, the mysterious nihilistic attack seemed to be deadlocked for a quarter of an hour, and then it seemed that Lu Qing had discovered something. Crash! A sparse voice emerged, and then the transparent energy body was directly hidden. It was too fast. All of this happened in the blink of an eye, and even the other two did not react at all. Xuanjing was just about to make a move. Then the Guardian's attack was over, and he was in the boundless state. Peefed. A few slight coughs came directly from under Lu Qing's delicate body, and the three of them could clearly see that Lu Qing's blessing of light, that was enough to resist the full blow of the powerhouse in the early stage of Samsung Do Xian, a corner was almost broken by this mysterious creature. The blessing of light is a special energy ray that forms within 3 meters of Lu Qing's body, weakening all attacks that are not conducive to her, and thus defending the fighting skills. However, such a tyrannical means of defense was unexpectedly forced by the mysterious creature. When a gap was attacked, Lu Qing was almost hit, which made everyone feel a little inexplicable fear of the Guardian's strength. "Are you all right?" Xiaoyan supported Lu Qing and said slightly. "I'm fine, I think. I know what kind of creature this is." After Lu Qing took a few breaths, he smiled. Xiaoyan couldn't help being shocked when he heard the words. Obviously, even his soul power close to the fairyland didn't know the true face of the Guardian. Lu Qing's soul power was far inferior to himself, how could he know? "Do you think I just screamed in vain?" Lu Qing rolled his eyes at Xiaoyan, and then said angrily. Could it be? When Lu Qing said this, Xiaoyan's eyes also lit up. As long as he knew the name of the Guardian, then with the knowledgeable experience of the four, he would naturally be able to find a way to deal with it. This is a special creature. It's not a soul beast, it's also a human being. In the ghost world, it has a special noun. Three-eyed ghost pupil. Lu Qing's voice seemed to be full of magic, and it slowly lingered in everyone's heart for a long time. End of this chapter.